This is the Barbados Today morning news for Monday, November 28th. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. It is now 2 days before Barbados celebrates its 50th independence anniversary, and Barbadians are expected to join hands across the island for the human chain link under the theme One People, One Barbados. Police say there will be full security on the road to protect communities during the 3-hour event. And addressing a meeting of chain link marshals on the weekend, Inspector Wayne Archer also gave assurances that a traffic management plan is in place to ensure a safe and secure chain link.
We're going to be out in numbers, by no means to take over the event. We want to perhaps ensure that you can do whatever it is that you want to do with a measure of safety. So we're going to be out early, we're going to be out in numbers, and hopefully the numbers that we put out would ensure that every child, every adult returns to the home safely.
And last evening, residents and members of the diaspora gathered at the Kensington Oval for a service of thanksgiving held in commemoration of the 50th independence anniversary. Canon Noel Burke urged Barbadians to reflect on their progress over the past 50 years.
What have we learned as a nation from our history, especially from the experiences of the past 50 years? The journey that we have traveled during these years is one that is brimful of lessons and insights. The primary ones tell of how, with just a little, it is possible to create much. Not unlike the story of that little boy in the gospel who entrusted Jesus with his lunch of 5 loaves and a few fish, and these fed many. Do we as Barbadians still have this conviction about the possibility of transforming the little into much by honest, hard work, as our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents did?
The Vice President of the National Union of Public Workers, Asokore Beckles, is dismissing suggestions by one union member that some officials are being sidelined. Last Friday, Joyanne Innes told Barbados Today that she and some senior officers had been sidelined by the union's leadership. She also charged that they had violated industrial relations protocols. Innes made reference to Beckles, who told Barbados Today last week that it would be wise to appoint a special independent mediator to help speed up settlements in industrial disputes, as well as avoid protests such as last week's sick-out at the Grantley Adams International Airport. But Innes suggested that Beckles was not aware of existing mechanisms for such mediation. On Sunday, Beckles told Barbados Today that he would rather not comment directly on those statements. Tributes have been pouring in for the late veteran educator Matthew Farley, who passed away yesterday. The former Graydon Sealy Secondary School principal retired in 2014 after 42 years in the teaching service. President of the Barbados Union of Teachers, Pedro Shepherd, said on social media that the education fraternity has lost another great champion and Barbados has lost a true son of the soil. Shepherd said Farley is among the few, if not the only, primary school principal who transitioned from primary to secondary principal. According to Shepherd, he led by example and was a master of his craft. And last month, Barbados Today interviewed Mr. Farley as part of our Bajan Gems series, which highlights outstanding Barbadians. At the time, he spoke of his lifelong love for teaching.
I've always had a passion for the teaching profession. I believe it's one of the most, if not the most important profession there is in the world, in that we teach everybody else. Everybody else. I mean, you may live for your whole lifetime and never go to a doctor. You might live for your whole lifetime and never see a lawyer. You will have to encounter the undertaker at the end. But you know, you can't get away from having been impacted by a teacher at some point in time in your life. And I was drawing attention to the need for them to recognize the tremendous responsibility that rests on their shoulders as teachers, particularly in this age when there's so many issues, when there's so many challenges facing young people. Sometimes the school is the only the place where there's the last vestige of hope. Sometimes children come to school early not because they want to be punctual, but because home is not a safe place. Sometimes they're the last to leave the school compound, not because they like school, but because home is not a safe place. So school is that last vestige of hope for a lot of children. I think I try to convey that impression to them, and that we need to hold very high standards, and that as teachers we cannot be like everybody else if we want to lead students and children into a better way of life.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
But Maisie, this Christmas will be the best Belgian Christmas for we. Maisie, it is all because Republic Bank just like Santa Claus. Maisie, fix up the kitchen and a new TV we get in. A special time to commemorate. Republic will help you celebrate.
Get ready to celebrate 50 years of independence right through to the best Bajan Christmas ever with a Make It Happen loan of up to $50,000 from Republic Bank. Give your home a good old Bajan sprucer, buy some new furniture and appliances, or take an after-holiday trip to visit loved ones over and away. You could also be one of our lucky winners to share in fabulous prizes. Just visit any branch to apply. Go to republicbarbados.com or call us at 227-2700. We're also available via Skype and FaceTime. Special conditions apply.
In Bajan style, it will be great with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We're back with news from around the Caribbean, and Cuba's most prominent dissident group called off its weekly protest march for the first time in 13 years following the death of former President Fidel Castro. Castro died late Friday at age 90. The government in Havana has declared a 9-day mourning period and suspended baseball games and the sale of alcohol. The Ladies in White dissident group said they respect the mourning period and will not celebrate the death of any human being. The group was originally formed in support of husbands jailed for political opposition. Meanwhile, regional leaders have been paying tribute to Castro, and the Cuban ambassador to Barbados has also been remembering him as a man of integrity.
This is a man that maybe there is not an item, an issue, a segment of our society that has not been transformed by his thinking and by his work. This is the man of principles. And that's why not only the Cuban people believed in him, but all the people around the world with hope, working for a better world, supported him.
Further afield, Iraq's sectarian political leaders are once again in dispute over the status of Shiite armed groups. This is undermining efforts to reunite the country as its troops press on with the assault of Mosul, the Islamic State's biggest stronghold. We get more in this Reuters report.
These Shiite militia, called Hashid Shabi, or popular mobilization units, say they're moving closer to the Iraqi town of Tal Afar, which is occupied by Islamic State, or IS. Capturing or isolating the city, which is about 30 miles west of Mosul, is a key part of the U.S.-backed offensive to retake Mosul from IS. Mosul is already surrounded on the north, south, and east by Iraqi government and Kurdish Peshmerga forces. Cutting it off from the west will allow ground forces to complete Mosul's encirclement and set the stage for driving IS out of Iraq. Reports from the area say thousands of people have fled Tal Afar in recent days. Footage released by Hashid Shabi shows displaced families being evacuated from front lines. Hashid Shabi forces are mainly comprised of Iranian-trained Shiite paramilitary groups. Their involvement in the offensive against the Sunni Islamic State has sparked fears of sectarian killings.
That's news this morning. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.pb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Or you can tune into Channel 99 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I am Mary Claire Williams. Have a good morning.